Welcome to Get Started Investing, a show that helps you make the most of your money. In this 12-part series, we're sharing everything that we've learned about investing to help you get started or to remind you of why it's so important. My name is Bryce, and as always, I'm joined by my equity buddy, Ren. How are you going?
I'm very good, Bryce. Very excited for this episode. We are back for 2026, and we have a massive series planned. For long-time listeners of Get Started Investing, they may be familiar with how this show started back in 2019. A 12-part series unpacking everything that we've learned about investing. We're running it back, and we're doing it again.
Yes. Well, we've learned a hell of a lot over the last... What is it now? 6 years since we've done it?
Yeah.
Or going into the 7th?
8 years of Equity Mates going into the 9th, though.
There you go. In today's episode, we are going to talk a little bit about who we are for those that are just joining us for the first time and why we invest, but particularly why you, if you're listening right now, why you should be investing.
And if you're already an investor, don't worry. This is applicable to you as well. We are going to remind you of why investing is one of the most important life skills you can learn. It should be taught in schools, but until it is, it's taught on this podcast. So stick with us as we unpack everything you need to know to get started investing.
So over the next 12 episodes, we're going to cover everything from the foundations, how to get your money sorted, the brokers to use, what you can invest in, how to build a portfolio, and then the strategies that we use to set and forget.
And through it all, we're going to be busting all the jargon that makes this world confusing and difficult to navigate.
Yep.
But Bryce, let's kick it off at the very beginning. For people new to the show or who just want a refresher, let's start with who we are. So Bryce, who are you?
I'm Bryce, 34-year-old, good mates with you, Ren.
Okay, nice. The three most important things you need to know.
Yes. Since recording the first series, I should say, a lot has happened in my life. I'm now married, my wife, Harriet.
Yes.
We have a beautiful golden retriever puppy that's just joined our household, Penny. I live in Sydney. I've bought a home in Redfern, and I'm a massive Bombers fan. That hasn't changed, that's for sure, despite a very unrewarding last 6 years.
Yeah, what is crazy is they've disappointed you in all of those 6 years.
They have.
So I'm Ren, slightly younger than Bryce, although my hairline doesn't denote that for people watching on YouTube. Also live in Sydney. I think to take a step back, we met in Canberra while we were at uni, lived at share houses together. Then I moved to Melbourne for work for a few years. We actually started Equity Mates long distance.
Yes.
And then I moved back to Sydney as we quit our jobs to do Equity Mates full time. Since the last time we recorded this, I also got married. In fact, I met my now wife, then married her in the time between these series.
There you go.
So a lot has changed. Live in Maroubra, also bought a home in the time between these series. Swans fan. Bit better the last 6 years, although no grand final wins either.
No grand final wins, but a few appearances.
A couple of devastating appearances. So that's who we are. But I think probably the most important thing to stress as we start this series is that we have no financial background. Yeah. This series and the whole journey of Equity Mates, the theme of it could be, if these two idiots can do it, anyone can. Yeah. I think our first tagline back in the day was made by nobodies for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Made for everybody by nobodies.
Yeah. Well, very self-deprecating.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But, we didn't study finance. We've never worked in the finance industry. I think after we finished uni, we were in this situation where we were earning more than we were spending for the first time in our lives. Couldn't afford a house. Weren't getting much from our savings account. And wanted to figure out something to do with our money. Couldn't afford financial advice as well. And so Equity Mates was our mission to try and learn in public.
Yeah.
We've made all the mistakes, and we'll talk to some of the mistakes we've made over this journey. But we're not financially educated, I think is an important thing to stress.
Yeah, not experts, but we have spoken to over 500 experts over the journey of Equity Mates particularly, and so have learned a lot and feel like we're in a position now where we can share.
Yeah. That's an important distinction. It's like when we started this, we didn't know anything, so feel like you can start, but also we've learned a lot, so feel like you should stick with us.
Yes, we know a fair bit right now. So Equity Mates was really born out of that. 2017, we did our very first Equity Mates podcast. Equity Mates is the flagship show to get started investing. And as you sort of said, Ren, it was because we wanted to become better investors. And when we finished uni was the first episode, and it's grown now into the business that it is today. And we are really passionate about improving the financial literacy of Australians. It's, as you said, we couldn't afford financial advice. That is still a problem that exists today. And so all of this content that we're doing is really aimed at helping the thousands of Australians who feel like they are getting left behind, want to get ahead, can't afford financial advice. We're here to say that that is not the case. You can get ahead, and in this series, we're going to show you how.
Yeah, I think one sobering stat to leave this part of the episode with and to get into why investing is so important is the government do a survey every few years. It's the Hilda survey, and they ask a bunch of questions about financial literacy. One analysis that I read from the University of WA, based on those survey questions, 45% of Australian adults are financially illiterate. It's a pretty stark reminder that so many Australians are calling out for help with their finances. And so one thing we're going to ask throughout this series is if there are people in your life that you think would benefit from learning about investing, from taking control of their financial futures, but haven't known where to start, share this series.
So, Ren, everyone's journey has to start somewhere. Let's jump into how our investment journey started. And it's been very different.
Yours is the good.
Yes.
Mine is the bad.
Well, I'll start with
So
the
are you
good
a good
then.
news person or a bad news person? Like,
I'm a good news person.
All right,
Let's start with the
then.
good. Let's start with the good. So my investing journey, I was lucky enough to have parents who tried to teach me the value of money from a very, very, very young age. Kindergarten was when they first sat me down and they gave me $1.50 in pocket money every fortnight. That pocket money was split into literally 3 50-cent pieces, still running cash back in the day. They said to me, you have to split this into 3 parts. 50 cents needs to go to spending, 50 cents needs to go to a savings bucket, and then 50 cents needs to go to an investing bucket. I knew nothing about investing at that point. I didn't understand anything. I just knew that I had to put it into these 3 buckets.
I mean, you were in primary school.
I was like 5 years old.
You probably didn't know much about saving as well.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that all I needed to do was try and buy the fish food for
your fish.
for my fish. Then over years, I got to year 6 and Dad sat me down and said, Bryce, after saving those 50 cents for the last 6, 7 years, you now have $500 and we're going to invest that into the stock market. Again, I really didn't understand what that meant, but it was the very beginning. Dad put $500, which was the minimum parcel size back in the day, through a broker into Brickworks, a listed investment company. So that was the beginning of my investing.
My wife Alice asked, because we were listening back to our 2019 series. Yes, I made her listen to it as well. And she asked, is that why Bryce's nickname is Brick? Because your first investment was Brickworks.
I should say that.
Yeah.
I should say that.
I mean, people think we're already too obsessed about investing. That would be a step too far.
So that was mine. That was the good, getting taught young, getting into the stock market early. You say yours was the bad.
Yes.
Why is that?
So I grew up in a household where building wealth and securing your financial future was tied to one big thing, your home.
Yep.
The Australian dream. Get a massive mortgage and pay it off over your working life. But that's all we knew. And so growing up, that was what Mum and Dad worked hard to do. It wasn't until I met you at uni that you kind of opened my eyes to this whole world of investing. And, when we were at uni, we had some shocking business ideas.
Yes.
But at the same time, I kind of learned that you didn't have to have your own business ideas. You could also invest in the businesses of others.
Big time.
And so while working part-time jobs at uni, I saved up $1,000, which was so much at the time. And I bought one stock in what would have been 2014, Slater and Gordon.
Damn.
Now, for people familiar with the Slater and Gordon story, it's a law firm. It was on an absolute tear. It was a share market darling. It tried to expand to the UK, failed, and collapsed. And when I say collapsed, I mean collapsed. My $1,000 turned into $12.
Oh.
I lost 99.5% of my money, and brokerage cost, the cost to buy and sell on CommSec at the time, was $20. So I couldn't even cover the brokerage to sell it.
Oh my goodness.
So
if ever there's a way to start your journey, it's by almost losing all your money.
So if you're worried that
Yes.
you're going to have a tough start to investing, rest assured, it won't be as bad as me.
Well, yes, and good case study to show that you can almost lose it all, but recover and go on to to bigger and better things.
But here's the thing. After that tough start, I stuck with it and kept learning, kept talking to you about it. Eventually, we did the podcast. And what we've learned is that investing is so important. It really it can set your life up.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break here. And on the other side, we're going to talk about why we invest and why you should too.
Hi, my name's Olivia.
My name is Mike.
Dan.
Simon.
And I invest because I'd love to not be chained to the 9 to 5 for my whole life.
To build long-term wealth and hopefully help me retire younger.
I want to have more peace in my future.
Just find it really fun.
Welcome back to Get Started Investing, our 12-part series sharing everything that we've learned about investing so that you can get started. Ren, before the break, you said there are a number of reasons why we invest. We've got 4 that we think are really important. And the first one comes down to financial freedom.
Yes.
Investing gives us the opportunity to have choice in our lives and live the life that in the way that we want.
Yeah, and it's not about retiring early and lying on a beach for 40 years.
No, couldn't do that.
It's no, but it's about money not being the biggest driver of our decisions.
Yeah, having control over time is, I think, the biggest luxury that you can have. Waking up in the morning and deciding this is exactly what I'm going to do because I don't need to worry about going out and getting a paycheck to pay for my expenses.
Yeah, it gives you the power to say no.
Yeah.
You can say, I want to take a lower paying job because it interests me more, or because I'm more, it's more aligned with what I want to do, because I don't need to chase the paycheck to pay for my life.
Yeah.
It gives us the power to say, I'm going to spend more time with my family. It gives us the power to say, I want to take some time off and travel. It just gives us that choice later in life that we otherwise wouldn't have.
Yeah. So we're going to show you how you can get rich slow and give yourself that choice. The second, Ren, is we work hard for our money. So we want our money to work hard for us. Sitting it in a bank account is not going to do that. Investing it and letting compounding be the power that drives that, that is the second reason that you should be investing.
Now that's a piece of jargon that you'll hear a lot. Compounding, you'll hear it a lot. In an investing context, what we're really talking about is how your money can grow exponentially by just getting a consistent rate of return year after year after year. And the reason that it grows exponentially is it's not just the money that you've invested that is making money. It's also the money you've earned in all the previous years that is also making money.
Yeah.
And so the chart really starts to look quite nice the longer that you invest. To give you a worked example, just to make that explanation really simple, let's say we have $1,000 and we invest it and we get 10%. We make $100. But then the next year, if we make 10% again, we make 10% on the original 1,000 we invested, but also the $100 we've already made.
Yeah.
And so that second year, we actually make $110. And then in the third year, we make 10% on the 1,000 we invested, on the 100 we made in the first year, and on the 110 we made in the second year. And so in the third year, we make $121. And you can see how every year we're making more and more, even though we didn't invest anymore. Now, after 30 years, that $1,000 you originally invested has turned into $17,449, and 10% return that year earns $1,744.90, almost double the amount you originally invested.
Without having to lift a finger.
Without having to do anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
As we say, your money makes money, and the money you've made makes money.
Yeah. So that's the power of compounding. You're going to hear that a lot, but that's why investing is so important, because your money starts to work as hard as you do.
The third reason that we love investing or why you should invest, is because it gives you the opportunity to invest in the smartest people in the world, literally from your bedroom.
Yes.
Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Jensen Huang, these guys run the biggest companies in the world. They are some of the richest people in the world, and you can invest in these companies and let them try and make you money.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Jobs no longer.
No longer.
Yeah. But all of these, notable visionary people, or even just regular CEOs that run, more boring companies like
Woolies.
they're incentivized to make you money.
Big time.
And the way the incentives work is leading these companies that are listed on the share market. they get incentives. Generally, they get more shares in the company if they hit certain milestones, if they can grow the share price, if they can grow the revenue and the profit of the company. And so they work hard, they hire the smartest people, they create new products, they enter new markets, all to create shareholders more money. And you can be a shareholder.
Easily.
From the comfort of your couch.
Yeah.
And this isn't a modern phenomenon. This is how the share market has worked all the time. It's all of these world-changing innovations throughout the past sort of 200 years. Everyone's had the opportunity to invest in them. You know, Alexander Graham Bell and the telephone, like he had a listed company, Bell Telephone, that turned into AT&T. They got split up because it was so powerful into multiple companies. You know, you had the opportunity to invest in that. Ford and consumer cars, Westinghouse and household appliances, News Corp and, you know, like the rise of mass media, Woolworths you mentioned, Boeing, you know, all of these companies that have changed our lives, we could have invested in.
We can.
We can.
Yes. And then the fourth one, Ren, is not so much a financial outcome, but more a personal one. Investing makes us better informed about what is going on in the world around us. It forces you to be a critical thinker or try and understand topics and go deep on topics that you would probably never otherwise do.
I think people think investing is a financial exercise, and it is, like, you know, that we're obviously looking at numbers and finance, but it's more than that. It's the whole world around us, and importantly, how the world works and how the world is changing. Nvidia and AI, Tesla and electric cars, you know, Woolworths and shopping habits. I don't know why we're having such a crack at Woolworths today. But, you know, what we buy, what we want, what our friends are talking about, what's in fashion, what's out of fashion, what we're saving for, you know, all of these things are probably more important than the financial side of it when you're trying to find great investments.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's made me so much more aware of how the world works by analysing the companies that are sort of central to how the world works.
Yeah. So those are the 4 reasons why we invest. There are plenty more, but I think, you know, that those 4 really encapsulate it all for us.
All right, Bryce, well, I want to close out with a game. I want to see if you can figure out where $1 a day can take you.
Okay.
This is a reminder of the awesome power of compounding and why everyone should be investing and make their money work for you.
All right.
So I'm going to give you a scenario.
Yep.
And you tell me how much money you'll have at the end of it. So in this scenario, we're investing $1 a day for 40 years.
Okay.
So in total, that's $14,600 invested over the 40 years.
Okay.
Now I'm going to say you get 13% per year returns.
Yep.
And for people who think that's too high, that's the average of the past 124 years of Australia's share market with dividends reinvested.
Yep. The data's there.
So $1 a day
Okay.
for 40 years, 13% a year.
Yeah.
Where can $1 take you?
That's going to sit somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million.
Okay. Well, look, you're not. I mean, that's a big range that you're given. You're close. $492,290.
Wow.
From $1 a day, you've invested $14,600, and you have almost $500,000.
Wow.
That is the power of compounding. That is why we think investing is so important, and that's how it gives your future self flexibility and choice.
So stick around, because over the next 11 episodes, we're going to show you how you can get started in the market. Next episode, we're going to talk about getting investment ready, all the things that you can do to make sure your foundation is set and ready to go before you start investing. So if you want more than just this series, head over to Equity Mates Investing Podcast on YouTube. And investing isn't a journey that you have to go alone. If there's someone out there that you think could benefit from this series to help them get started in the stock market, we'd really appreciate it if you could share it with them. As we said, financial advice is very expensive. This content is free, and we guarantee by the end of it, they'll be feeling motivated to get started.